All right. Welcome, everyone. My name is Colin Weston. I am the community leader for Startup Vancouver, which is one of over 40 community chapters of Startup Canada across the country. And this show, if you don't know already, is called What Keeps You Up at Night? Entrepreneurship during challenging times, where we have conversations with amazing entrepreneurs, influencers, innovators. In fact, our panelists, I think, wear all three of those hats today. So we're excited to have them on as guests. So I'm going to quickly share my screen here to do some community announcements and get us going before we start rolling into our 30-minute show here. All right. And 1 second here. I think you'll like this, Reza, because I finally got my act together here that it's that I don't have to ask you which one of the 13 screens I have, which is actually working. So today, and this is our 20th episode. I can't believe it, Reza. We've made it to 20.
Wow.
It's been amazing. Yes, is having, of course, Reza V as my co-host on Tuesdays and having Maryam Mobini on Thursdays. And today we have two amazing guests who I have had the pleasure of being friends with for many years through this thing called Startup Canada, which there's so many reasons why I've got involved as a volunteer with Startup Vancouver and Startup Canada. But the main one is just this, getting me access and connectivity to amazing humans that otherwise I would never even know existed, like Lyndon and Melloney. And I am just very, very gracious. And the gratitude I want to show to them and everybody else in our big Startup Canada family, that I would not know these people otherwise and be able to bring them to you. So as we always do, a little temperature check in the room there. How's everybody hanging in there during these COVID times? Gosh, it's almost, we're almost into month 5 here, almost into August of what's going on, in the conversation we're going to have today with our two guests to see not only how they're doing, the communities they're serving, and their business and everything in between, as far as what's working, what's not, where they're thriving, where they're just surviving, and all those good things, and how they're hanging in there too. Startup Vancouver, best way to connect with us is through social media, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, and also our LinkedIn page. We are very active there with not only our own events, but also the other ones that we love to promote all across the country and with the other startup and innovation organizations.
Colin, I think you're on the wrong page here. You are showing the PDF, not the presentation.
That's okay. Are you not seeing this?
We're just seeing
Not
your
really.
the ad.
Oh, see, I try to be so clever here. Try to be so clever.
But you are clever.
So yeah, sometimes. So you're telling me, my friend, you can't see anything?
We can see your the ad for the event on PDF, not the presentation.
I see the
we're
pug.
going over.
And now it's not moving. All
No.
right. Yeah, I could see that too. Jeez, I was trying so hard to do this thing right here.
That's okay.
Hold on. Give me a second.
You're still a superstar. It's okay.
Thanks. See, I thought I was being clever here. I'm going to stop the share. I'm going to share this again. See,
It's usually my job to look into these, but today I wasn't sure when to interrupt. So
buddy, you can interrupt me at any time. So there you go. And hopefully with the page, you actually then saw that was changed.
Go for it.
All right. You know, maybe this isn't working out today.
Nothing else.
There you go.
There we go.
Can you see that? Any questions?
Yeah, we can.
There we go. See, I'm overcomplicating this. So, This is an interactive show, and apparently a spontaneous one where anybody can screw up at any time. So I'm living that large today. So audience members out there on Zoom and also on Facebook Live, if you have any questions, please ask them. We'll even open up the mic. If you're with us on Zoom, you can ask them yourself. So yeah, we're going to have these short conversations with our guests, and then afterwards we're going to open that up for questions today. So please speak up. Let us know what you're thinking, comments and questions. We have a charity partner that we're very proud of to actually have with us, and that is jack.org. And jack.org is Canada's only charity that supports the advocacy of mental health awareness across the country in every province and every territory. They do fantastic work, and we do put it on there. On the Eventbrite page is a donation option if you want to donate there. Lots of people have. We've raised over $400 so far, which is amazing. And we do have one person that's going to, I believe, spoiler, not going to say who, that's going to donate later. But when we don't actually have any donations, I do my little party trick rather than sing. So Reza, you're going to see that again too, my friend.
Awesome.
So I like to mix it up. You know, not only can I screw up PowerPoint presentations, I can also sing, well, badly, and I can also do bar tricks too. That I'll do there. So today we have my good friend Melloney Campbell, who wears many hats as an entrepreneur, but she is in a way kind of my kind of the equal of what I do in Vancouver. She is the community leader for Startup Peel. Everybody across the country, if you don't know where Peel is.
Today we have few technical difficulties. Colin, take it.
Here we go. Says my connection is unstable. Can you hear me now?
We're good. We're good.
There we go. Okay, good stuff. So with Startup Peel is one of the other 40 chapters across the country of Startup Canada. And Peel, if you don't know where that is, that's where I grew up. And it consists mainly of Brampton and Mississauga, just outside of Toronto to the west and the northwest. And Melloney grew up, or is living in beautiful Brampton, my hometown. So represent Flower Town. There we go.
Yay.
So Melloney and I will be talking later in the show about all the great things that she's doing at Startup Peel and Startup Canada as a board member. And also tomorrow, you see Melloney on there again. I am very proud to be a part of this. So tomorrow, as part of our Can Startup Stories, we are going to, as part of our speaker series, celebrating Black entrepreneurs. And Melloney is going to be the co-host. She's going to be the MC for that event. And we have 5 amazing, diverse entrepreneurs that are going to share their truth, speak their truth, and share their entrepreneurial and personal story with us. So we are going to be posting afterwards or during the show the link to that. It is free to attend. And please join us tomorrow at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern for 2 hours of what will be engaging and impactful storytelling.
Yay.
We also have our good friend Lyndon Johnson, who has jumped on at the last minute here today. And he also is an entrepreneur and a supporter of Startup Canada. He is the founder of Think Differently and also of Comms Bar. I'm not going to do a spoiler here because my good friend Reza is going to be chatting with Lyndon in just a minute here. Lyndon is also the host of our twice weekly Startup Chats, which occurs at, you see, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific time. These are amazing. I've been involved for over 5 years. If you want to learn, if you're an entrepreneur, innovator that wants to provide your knowledge or also learn, these are amazing interactive startup chats on Twitter. So on the Twitters, as my dad would say. My dad actually is very cute. He goes, "Send me a twinkle." It's like, oh, Dad, it's adorable. So I'm going to stop talking and start messing up my screen here. And I'm going to turn it over to my good friend and Tuesday co-host, Reza, who is going to jump on board here with Lyndon and get us going here. So Reza, take it away,
everyone.
buddy.
Hi, everyone. My name is Reza V. I'm the founder of OVU, and it's another Tuesday. I can't believe it. It's the 20th episode and another lunch break with us. Thank you for joining. And today I have the pleasure of interviewing Lyndon Johnson. He is the founder. He's disrupting the public relation and publicity industry. He's the founder of Think Differently and comms.bar. That's COMMS.bar. Lyndon, thank you for being here today with us. And you have 20 plus years of experience in this field. Tell us a little bit about how you're disrupting the PR world.
Yeah, well, thank you, Reza. Thank you for being, the opportunity to be here. It's great to meet you and to reconnect with Melloney and Colin as well and everybody else. 20 plus years. I'm not quite sure how that happened. I worked in-house in agencies. Obviously, my accent is not Canadian. I've been in Canada for 10 years. And when I came, I had a conversation with a former agency customer that wanted to keep working with me. They were going to keep working with my previous employer as well, but they said that they got value from something I did they didn't technically pay for, which was helping them figure out what to do next and how to use the various services that the agency was providing. And that triggered this kind of idea about there had to be more companies in that same situation. And it started a process of trying to figure out how to make public relations and marketing work for entrepreneurs, for startups and small businesses. And we had 4 founding principles. One was that it had to be affordable, because most entrepreneurs can't afford agency retainer fees. It had to be transparent, because there's an awful lot of jargon in the industry, and there's a lot of confusion about what the terms mean. And so I wanted to be kind of transparent and clear about it. Measurability is critical for startups and small businesses, and accessibility. And the accessibility kind of principle was the founding idea behind what became CommsBar, which is like a walk-in clinic for public relations and marketing advice that entrepreneurs can come and get advice on demand. So that's kind of how we're trying to disrupt, by kind of addressing all of those 4 things to make what, you know, kind of entrepreneurs need to build their businesses work for them.
And Lyndon, over the past 20 years that you've been involved in PR and marketing, I can imagine this past few months have been unprecedented even in your career, with that much expertise. How do you see the market? What have you seen over the past 3 months? What are some of the things that you see as a trend or entrepreneurs should pay attention to?
Well, I think one of the things is focus on customers. I think that over the last few years, it's become about distribution. It's become about message, where I think the last few months we've seen things turn around, and the focus has been very squarely on customers, on the people that are critical to a business. So from customers to partners to investors in many cases, but anybody that's critical to sustaining the business, and making sure that you're communicating with those people, and understanding that they all have different needs. There isn't a one size fits all approach to it, and that you need to communicate key information to those people in the way that is best for them, rather than automation, which is what's been kind of the watchword over the last few years, of just sending out, you know, stuff to as many people as possible. So I think that's been a really important shift, and I hope that stays as we kind of hopefully come out of, you know, COVID in the coming months and years.
You touched on something that is my favorite thing, and that is marketing is listening, marketing is understanding. Because during COVID or not COVID, doesn't matter. When you really understand the underlying problems or issues or concern your customer has, then you come up with clever ways to address it. And it also gets me to how, as an entrepreneur myself, if it was like prior to COVID, I had this mentality of, let me give it a go, do some blogs, do something my own and test it. I don't need to hire a professional. You get to COVID, everything is super sensitive. What messaging am I putting out there? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Then Black Lives Matter, then something else. And then it goes on this path of, it's so sensitive that if you don't say something, it's bad. If you say the wrong thing, it's bad. And at the same time, you want to take advantage of the situation that is created. What is the biggest takeaway that entrepreneurs can take from your experience? And secondly, if they are looking to hire a PR firm or a PR expert, how should they go about that?
Well, the one thing about kind of whether to say something or not has to be contextual. You see questions about what's the best way to do this, what's the best response, what should I be doing? And the reality is it depends on who you're communicating with, it depends on your business, it depends on your product. And clearly, as we've gone through COVID, different things have needed to be communicated at different times. And some businesses have different responses. There's no one standard response. So I think being aware of, you know, who your customers are and understanding, you know, what they expect from your business is really important. I think there's a lot of businesses that have probably talked to and listened to the responses of those people that are critical to the business far more than they ever have done. There have been a lot more conversations about, you know, difficult subjects, about, you know, people's safety, about, you know, diversity, Black Lives Matters, all of those things, so that businesses have a better sense of where their key relationships sit on those topics, which then should drive how they respond to it. So I think that's important. I think that's something that there is no one solution to it. You touched on a point a minute ago saying about you think that entrepreneurs need to get advice, and I think actually that by getting a company as a startup or small business doesn't necessarily make sense. Getting advice, on the other hand, is invaluable, and it's about being able to ask questions and get advice that's contextual to the business. So I think that's important. I mean, that would be the advice for actually working with either a company or with an expert, with a specialist, is understand what your business needs, understand what you're going to get value from, and understand how you're going to measure value. Because unless you can do those things, you're buying something that you can't necessarily apply to value in the business. You can't measure the impact that it has. So I think, understand what your business needs and what's the best fit for you, rather than just buying the first thing that somebody offers, or because, with retainer fees, paying a lot of money for something just because it's what is mostly offered, rather than actually finding something that's the best fit for your business.
Absolutely. And Colin, I think we have a question from the guest. Do you want to read it? Or should I? You're on mute, by the way.
That's so funny. I was giving Lyndon and Melloney such a hard time in the pre-show about not unmuting themselves. Wow, I'm having myself a day today. Here we go. I think it was more of a comment from Michael rather than a question. And he just said that not everyone can say the same things in the same way. It is a bit of a minefield for a lot of people, if not everyone right now. I think
and Michael, thanks for putting that out there. And I love that, because it's one of those times we cannot, Lyndon, you can comment on this, but we cannot copy our competitor or find an example. This is the time you have to listen to the customer and the customer only, and drive that. And even a PR company may not know what your customer is going through as well as you do.
I think one of the things as well is that you have to look at what it's going to mean for the business. Saying something is great, but what impact does it have on your business? And there are a lot of companies talking about Black Lives Matters and about diversity. How many of them follow through and actually make the changes to the business that they've suggested they're going to make, and suggested that it's a serious issue to the business? People are going to be keeping notes now. And if you said something, they're going to expect you to actually take action and to follow through on it. And so I think that's something that, there's a lot of talk about brand, and really brand for a startup and small business is built based on the promises you make and the actions you take. The diversity and whether or not it's something that you tweet about Black Lives Matters, or something that actually has a fundamental impact on the way you structure your business.
Exactly what we discussed, but following up with what you say, not just saying it because it's trendy. Colin, I'm going to pass it to you. We are running out of time, so we can please reach out to Lyndon after the show and ask your questions. Drop them in the chat as well. Thank you.
Just one thing I was going to say, Michael's comment about not everybody saying the same thing and it's a minefield. We've developed a toolkit that's on the Comms Bar website. So if there are startups, small business entrepreneurs that want to figure out what they should be saying based on their context, we've developed the tools for them, and there are no cost to download there as well.
Nice.
Good stuff. But both on Facebook and also on Zoom here in chat, I did put the link to Think Differently. You can get to Comms Bar from there, but Lyndon, perhaps you can do everybody a solid there, and for all the panelists and the attendees, if you can actually put in the link to Comms Bar, that'd be great, so people can go see that. So now we're going to move over to my good friend Melloney Campbell, who, as I mentioned earlier, is a board member with Startup Canada and is also the community leader and I believe the founder of Startup Peel. And I will have to say, Melloney, I consider a mentor, one of these people. I've seen her blaze the trail and I just try to keep up. So all the good things she's done over the last 5 years, I'm serious, has been a template for a lot of the things that we have built here with Startup Vancouver. So my friend, I have to thank you. Have to thank you for that. And at first, why don't I just turn it over to you so you can introduce yourself and perhaps expand on the introduction I just gave for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Colin. Yeah, so I've been with Startup Canada, oh my God, since the beginning. And after I worked at, it's funny, Lyndon's talking about agency because I worked at an agency. So I was at, I won't mention the name, no plugging. And so after that was done, I decided, you know, I'm going to take a break and I'm going to do some volunteer work. And then Startup Canada put a pitch out asking for people to volunteer. So I don't know if many people understand that Startup Colin, right? Startup Canada is all volunteer based. So all of it, we are all volunteers and we lead communities through our passion and just really to grow the ecosystem to help empower entrepreneurs, empower everyone really. So if you have an idea, you want to do something really cool, you know, we're here to support you. And that's how it's always been. And that's basically it really. It's for Peel region is when I moved there from Toronto, I saw a need and I kept going to Toronto just to try and connect with the ecosystem. Like there must be something out here. This can't be just a wasteland of nothing. And then, I emailed a counselor and he put me in contact with the Entrepreneur Center and that's how it started. So I went back to Victoria, Lennox. She's a co-founder of Startup Canada. I said, hey, I'd like to put a startup community out here. What do you think? And she's like, test it out, see what you think. And we did a bunch of events with the Brampton Entrepreneur Center and voila, here we are today. So it's been amazing. Bunch of startup weekends later, we've done Hill Day. We've done so many different things. It's crazy, but we are really here to help as many small businesses as possible. And I will plug something very shamelessly.
Plug away.
So the Entrepreneurship World Cup, I've been promoting that on LinkedIn, and it's an opportunity for any Canadian startups, whether it's an ideation phase that you're in, to go ahead and pitch and hopefully cement yourself and get up to the next level. Because one of the tier prizes is $25,000 in support. And so Amazon Web Services support, there is so many amazing things, mentors, everything that you can possibly think of to really grow your business. And a Canadian startup won last year. They're called Nerve, and it's a group of students from Waterloo. So, I mean, hey, why not? Could be another Canadian this year. So let's hear it.
Amazing. And I've been a terrible friend here. I have not shared that link yet, but I will on LinkedIn and also on Twitter, where all the good places where Startup Peel is. We will share that and help amplify the signal of that entrepreneurship world out there. Yeah. When does that actually take place? Did you mention that already? Or?
I know they've extended the deadline. So deadline's been extended to August now, early August. I posted the last post, I think it was yesterday actually, with the new deadline. So yeah, there is an opportunity, like go out there, even if it's just an idea that you're thinking of and you want some help growing that, just do it. Go ahead and just, you know, just don't let, an idea can never be a business if it's just an idea. If you don't put it out there, it'll only be an idea.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So just like the name of the show, what keeps you up at night? I want to rewind the tape here to about 4 months ago to the first couple of weeks of March to hear as you're just kind of ticking along there with Startup Peel and all the things you're doing. And of course, everything gets flipped on its head for everybody. So how have you managed to first survive and then thrive and then recalibrate all the things that you're doing with Startup Peel to help all the entrepreneurs within your community?
So one of the things we were looking at, because all of our events are run through sponsors. So, you know, as I mentioned before, it's all volunteer based. So it's all sponsorship that really helps us to put on the events. So BDC, whoever it may be, MasterCard's always been a big sponsor. And we had a few events lined out and we said, okay, this is going to be amazing, very impactful. We just did a cyber event and we did an event with you, Colin. I was there with at the Entrepreneur Center, and we were just looking forward to it. And then, yes, COVID hits. So we're like, okay, you can't go anywhere, you can't socialize. What are we going to do? And then we said, okay, wait a second. We used to do Google Meets. We used to do Google Hangouts all the time at Startup Canada. So let's revert to that. And what we did was we involved some of our MPs. So the first MP that came on board was MP Sahota. So she's like, yeah, you know what? I said, can we do a town hall with you? There's so many people, they want to know about the funding that's available for Start Business. How do they help themselves right now? Because not everyone will qualify for the funding. And that's working with these levels of government. And it's not, I'm not just pushing one party, I'm talking about all parties. So all parties working for everyone. We had an opportunity to go to them and to speak with them and say, listen, this is what's keeping people up at night, to take your phrase, Colin. How are you going to help them to go past COVID? How are we going to get to phase 2, phase 3? How are they going to be able to survive? And some may need to close their business. So what are we going to do? And having these impactful conversations helped us to start creating these virtual events. And we have a few more coming up that's going to be really mind-blowing, because we're looking at the feedback that's been given to us. And many people now, because they're offering services online, I'm being mindful of the time, that how are they, like, what are they supposed to do now? And many people, there's so much noise out there, they don't know, am I supposed to charge this? Am I supposed to charge that? How do I manage my taxes? How do I manage this? And so just stay tuned for that. We're gonna have some really cool stuff coming up for that. But really, it's about helping these individuals, because many people reach out to us. Where do I find funding? That's been the biggest question. Where can I find funding? I'm like, do you guys have funding? Like, no, Startup Canada has no money. We have no funding to give you. We can help you, but you know, and that was some of the questions that were asked. But yeah, it's just really connecting. So great people like Lyndon, connect them to Lyndon, connect them to yourself. Now that I've met Reza, I'll be saying, hey, guess what? Here's another person that you can contact. It's really about empowering people and connecting people.
I love that. And just like our sign says behind us, it is about connecting the startup community, the innovation and entrepreneurship community. Really, it's bigger than just startups. And it also, that connectivity does also intertwine with all of our 40 plus chapters. And you and I are being very intentional about that now. Last week, we had our Surrey edition. So our good friends of Startup Surrey, we had 3 awesome entrepreneurs from there and another guest host as part of their community. And tomorrow night, just to wrap up here with you and I here, Melloney, we are going to be co-hosting, and you're going to be emceeing our Can Startup Stories Celebrating Black Entrepreneurs, which is a collaboration between Startup Peel and Startup Vancouver. So I'm really, really looking forward to that, and I'm hoping you are too.
Of course, it's going to be exciting.
It will be, yes. And anything that we can do with Startup Vancouver that ties in, so people know, with Startup Canada and each one of our community chapters, our overarching core values are twofold. The one is the fact that we are collaborative. It's all about partnerships. We're not here to be hyper competitive and to say, you know, we want to create the best pitch competition and crush you. It's like, no, that's not the way we roll. And the other one is that diversity and inclusion piece, and being intentional about it. And Lyndon was talking about this, as far as being authentic and being and walking that walk and doing events like this. I hope that we are showing some authenticity here, and we're doing the best that we can in this, like Michael said, this minefield, being very careful. And myself, I try to do my best to help set this up and then hand it over to you, and then just get the heck out of the way. So that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. So it's on you tomorrow to make this thing amazing. No pressure.
Yeah, no pressure.
We're going to be keeping Melloney up at night tonight.
Oh no, I won't. Yeah, I'll be drinking coffee, going to sleep.
Sorry, no pressure, no pressure. Hey, Reza, my friend, very quickly here, do we have any questions, or do you even have anything quickly to ask Melloney here before?
I don't have a question, but I have a comment. Melloney and you, both of you, were talking about connecting and the power of that. And to be honest, out of experience and out of whatever I've done, I realized the most powerful thing an entrepreneur can do is putting himself out there, whether it's through virtual events, calls, meeting, whatever way, even a comment on social media. When you do that, it becomes a powerful magnet that pulls everybody who thinks like you or wants to be in touch with you. And it does wonders.
I agree with that. And that power of invitation is just that. It is so powerful to make people feel included. And what I've heard through some diversity inclusion talks that I've had on my podcast, and one woman with the PJ of America was amazing. She actually says diversity is inviting someone to the party, but inclusion is inviting them to dance. right? So they're just not on the sidelines. So, you know, you're really engaging them in that sense with
I like that.
Yeah, I like that one too. You know, I did not create that one, so I will give props to my good friend Sandy Cross with the PGA of America for that one. All right, so hey, we're going to be wrapping up here today, but before we do finish up, like I said, I got to do a 2 for today because our good friend is going to donate. He actually did say, bit of a spoiler, that it is a guy. So I got to sing our little song here, and I'm also going to do my party trick here. Is I'm going to donate. I've got 15 coins here. I know Reza, you've seen this one.
This is my favorite part.
There
of the
we
show,
go,
by the way.
off the elbow here. This put me through university as far as never having to buy a beer by doing this party trick. But I'm going to do my double threat here. And the first one is I'm going to sing our little shout out song here to our soon-to-be donator to jack.org. And it goes something like this. Nice donation by you. Jack.org says, thank you. You are awesome. Lyndon Johnson. That's you, buddy. Nice donation by you. There we go. So no guilt, buddy, that you're going to donate there. So I'm going to do my little trick, and as soon as I finish, Reza, I'm going to turn it over to you,
Awesome.
my friend, to end our show today. So hang on. I got to take these off, otherwise this can get ugly in a hurry. Hold on. All right. You ready? Here we go. 15. If I catch all 15 of them, I'll donate $15 to jack.org. Oh, goodness. I only caught 14 of them today. No.
You lost
$14 to jack.org
coins.
from me. There you go. Reza, take it away, buddy.
Awesome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Another Tuesday. Thank you for joining. I know you guys are joining specifically for Colin's, party tricks and the singing. It's not about the conversation, but thank you for joining every Tuesday, 12:30 to 1 o'clock. Colin and I are interviewing entrepreneurs. It's just a quick show for during your lunch break. And on Thursdays, Maryam Mobini and Colin will do the same. Thank you and have a great day.
Awesome. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.